Imagine you found a mysterious QR code that led to a website with hidden messages and a countdown to an unknown event. What would you do next? A cryptic website, strange rituals, and coded messages hint at something far more sinister than a simple online project, drawing participants into a world of fear and submission. By the end of this video, you'll know the answer. Is Cult Moirai an alternate reality game? Or is it something far more real and far more dangerous?
In the depths of YouTube, beyond the reach of trending lists and popular feeds, exist channels so strange and frightening that they challenge everything we know about the world around us.
Hi, my name is Mark, and I'm the host of the Scary Mysteries videos channel, where darkness and mystery come to life in every video that becomes the subject of our story. Well, usually on our channel, we talk about projects that have already made a loud statement for themselves, or at least left a noticeable mark in the online space. Today, however, we'll discuss the mysterious channel Cult Moirai, which has only just emerged, but has already caused quite a stir on Reddit. I admit this project intrigued me a lot too, even though seemingly I'm already a long-time veteran. And here's what I want to say. Despite the fact that Cult Moirai uses many techniques that have long become familiar in the genre of alternate reality games, my intuition tells me that there's something much more mysterious and unsettling behind all of this than just a game. Let's try to figure out all the aspects of the Cult Moirai project together, and also look into the reasons behind my skepticism regarding its affiliation with ARG. The starting point of this story was a post on Reddit published 2 weeks ago, the author of which found a sheet with a QR code stuck to the wall in one of the districts of Warsaw. Intrigued, he scanned the code and ended up on a website with the name cultmoirai.com. The homepage of this site featured a reproduction of the painting Inferno, created by an unknown artist and depicting the torments of sinners in hell. The painting was accompanied by a mysterious inscription, "Welcome, visitor. She sees and greets," as well as a countdown timer, ticking down to April 21st. However, the website's apparent simplicity turned out to be deceptive. Upon deeper analysis through the browser inspector, one can uncover various hidden messages in its code, referencing biblical stories as well as to the themes of chosenness and temptation. In the meta tag description, there's a phrase: "The code is written. The path is calculated. The departure commences. Do you exist beyond the veil?" The keywords tag hides the biblical number 144,000, the number of the chosen from all the tribes of Israel, mentioned in the Book of Revelation. The file name for the Inferno painting image contains an encrypted phrase in hexadecimal code: "The veil shall be torn, and the chosen shall depart." Moreover, if you dig deeper into the code, you can find another hidden text fragment, styled like biblical revelations. "I hearkened unto temptation, mistaking its whisper for truth. The path of darkness seemed as a garden, and deceit was honey upon my lips. I knew not the snare before me, nor the shadow of ruin behind. And lo, I was led astray, drawn as a lamb to the slaughter, until my undoing compassed me round about." But that's not all. If you allow the browser to play sound, the site begins transmitting a signal encoded in Morse code. And if you translate it into a readable format, you get the following: "The flesh is but a vessel of letting desire, its hunger insatiable, its whispers deceitful. The hand that clasps the pleasures of the body shall find itself, bound in chains unseen. And the soul that delights in its own indulgence shall wither as the vine cut from the root." Woe unto those who forsake the path, for the fire that warms shall consume, and the sweetness upon the lips shall turn to ash. The watchers seethe, balance is measured, and the toll is taken. Turn thee away, lest thou be numbered among the lost. Additionally, it was discovered that if you stay on the website for at least a few minutes, a pop-up window appears with an email address, encoded in base 64. Some intrigued users sent messages to this address, but the responses came not by email, but as encrypted base 64 posts on social media. We decided to follow their example and received the following reply. Message received. Even a single soul led to the pattern marks the guide in return. The system records. As you can already tell from what I've just said, it became clear very soon that Cult Moirai did not limit itself to a single internet page. The project quickly expanded its presence by creating numerous accounts on various platforms, including x.com and YouTube. Reddit users began to find them one by one, starting with a sub hidden in the bowels of the forum itself. We'll talk about the video content of Cult Moirai a bit later, but for now, let's focus on the text messages the project leaves online. On all platforms that allowed text publication, Cult Moirai consistently posted virtually identical content, short messages, encrypted using base 64 or hexadecimal code, no longer than one paragraph. The essence of all these messages revolved around conveying 3 keys which were claimed to be necessary to overcome the first level in Cult Moirai. The encrypted messages repeatedly emphasized the importance of uniting seekers, as the creators of the project called the users, aspiring to obtain these keys, and also mentioned the upcoming test of deciphering the special code and warned of fraudsters posing as true seekers. Furthermore, the messages contained hints of religious and mystical themes, threats for those daring to deceive the system, and stressed that only the worthy would be able to progress further. Specifically, on Reddit, where the first signs of the project's activity were noticed, Cult Moirai is represented by the user Dry Okra 7890. Even before the website began operating, this person posted in a section dedicated to paranormal phenomena, and his message was as follows. Please help me. They have me, and now I'll start things I do not want to start. I walked past a street sign today and it had a sticker on it. Same pattern. They left it. They tell me to start the countdown, but what happens when it hits 0? This cryptic statement, lacking context, confused users, who advised the author to seek psychiatric help, after which the post was deleted by moderators. Next, Dry Okra 7890 created a new post with a cipher using Morse code in the subreddits Puzzles and Codes, but these posts were also removed as they were deemed off-topic by the moderators. The cipher was quite simple, and when deciphered, it yielded the phrase Level 1. As a result, to avoid censorship, Dry Okra 7890 created his own subreddit, Cult Moirai, which now broadcasts messages, similar to those on the project's account on x.com. So, as you've probably already figured out, Cult Moirai, combining biblical allusions and elements of ancient Greek myths, positions itself as a kind of portal for the chosen ones seeking salvation. But from what exactly? The initial interpretation points to a connection with the eschatological themes of Christianity, the countdown, the reproduction of Inferno, references to the Book of Revelation. However, at the same time, the project's name appeals to Greek mythology, specifically to the 3 goddesses of fate, the Moirai, whose task was to ensure that every being, mortal or divine, would live out their destiny in strict accordance with the laws of the universe. This kind of syncretism, combining Christian and ancient motifs, was previously seen, for example, in Dante's Divine Comedy. Based on this, Cult Moirai could be classified as a project imitating the activities of a late Christian sect, if not for their YouTube channel, which adds an entirely different dimension to this story. Currently, there are 7 video materials on the channel divided into 2 categories, 1 long clip and 6 short ones. The centerpiece of the channel is a full-length video whose visual content continues the aesthetic of the website. The background features an engraving by Philip Galler depicting the three Moirai. A distorted voice off-screen narrates about chosenness, the path of purification through suffering, and a certain selection that the seekers will undergo. The narration is accompanied by audio-visual effects, including coded messages in Morse code, which duplicate the text content of the project on other platforms. But the short videos, they seem like they've been ripped out of an entirely different context. This is no longer Dante's Divine Comedy, spiced with a pinch of encrypted messages. It's more like a chronicle, capturing something that resembles a satanic mass: chains, flickering candles, human skulls, half-naked figures of men, one of whom has his chest cut open, as if the victim of an unknown ritual. The setting is semi-basement rooms, the walls of which are covered in mysterious symbols and runic inscriptions. At the center of this action, it seems, is a mysterious woman whose presence is felt in almost every shot. In the fourth video, dressed in ritualistic attire, she's no longer just present, she conducts the ritual with the object being a man lying on the floor with his bare torso exposed. This scene evokes a disturbing sense of some forbidden act, as if the viewer has intruded into a sacred space, inaccessible to outsiders. The audio sequence of the short videos is in the familiar Cult Moirai style. It includes encoded messages in Morse code, a distorted voice, giving instructions for potential chosen ones, and a male whisper, declaring the speaker's belonging to the group of seekers. The fifth video stands out from the rest. Instead of the usual scenes resembling occult rituals, it showcases an abstract animated pattern. The only readable element is the inverted symbol of the Lamb of God in the upper left corner of the screen, which seems to hint at some anti-Christian direction of the project. The audio accompaniment of the video follows the standard Cult Moirai style. A distorted voice utters some encrypted message. However, unlike in previous instances, the method of encoding this message remains unknown, making its decryption impossible at this moment. The sixth video has a similar style, but is devoid of coded messages. Instead, a distorted voice repeatedly repeats the phrase, "The key is given," which serves as a passageway between the recent hello.html page and the hidden erv40t35.html page, which contains another set of cryptic sayings. So what do we have in the end? Many users are convinced that behind the facade of Cult Moirai lies a typical alternate reality game, using many familiar ARG elements. However, as I mentioned at the beginning, my intuition and logic suggest to me that Cult Moirai goes beyond this genre and displays traits that do not fit the game model at all. And first and foremost, I'm talking about the psychological aspect of the project. Consider this. Dark themes are not uncommon in ARGs. Take Post Content or I Am Sophie, for example. But their goal was always to intrigue and engage, not to push away potential players. Now, take any hidden text from the website cultmoirai.com or a message from social media. These aren't fascinating puzzles. They are sermons filled with guilt, fear, and threats. The use of symbols, like the inverted Lamb of God, is provocative and capable of offending the religious, which contradicts the primary goal of ARGs, to attract a broad audience. In I Am Sophie, the darkness served as bait for users, but in Cult Moirai it suppresses, demanding submission rather than participation. This isn't a challenge for players, it's a form of psychological pressure that is incompatible with the very essence of ARGs. Messages about the three keys and the challenge related to the code decryption are accompanied by warnings about fraudsters and threats to those who dare to outsmart the system, which records everything. Where is the evidence that the next level is a step in the game and not just a fiction to keep the attention of the participants? In ARGs, progress is typically transparent and tangible for the players. In Cult Moirai, the system is opaque and the focus on unity and worthiness resembles recruitment tactics more than game mechanics. The lack of visible signs of actual participant progress undermines the hypothesis that it's an ARG. The emphasis on chosenness, trials, and punishments is uncharacteristic of projects created for entertainment, art, or commercial gain, and instead mimics the rhetoric of destructive cults. Even the most avant-garde ARGs maintain an element of convention, some kind of wink to the player. In Cult Moirai, however, there is only absolute seriousness, demanding unquestioning belief rather than player participation. Thus, lack of elements that engage the game, the chaotic structure, the threatening tone, the control system, instead of game progress, and the cult-like rhetoric devoid of any signs of creative convention, all of this points against the ARG hypothesis. Cult Moirai neither entertains nor engages. It intimidates, manipulates, and possibly recruits. I assert this is not a game, but something far more sinister, hidden beneath a digital mask. So, what is this project really? I have a few hypotheses, but for now, I'll keep them to myself and share them with you later. Let's wait until April 21st and see what happens when the countdown on the website cultmoirai.com ends, as that's the only concrete clue we have at the moment. In the meantime, stay tuned. More mysteries lie ahead. And we still have enough light with us to break through the most impenetrable darkness hidden in the depths of the internet. Subscribe to Scary Mysteries videos right now. Immerse yourself in the unknown and become part of the revelation. Uncover the hidden